Hello, and welcome to a Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness Charizard line only challenge. Now, this is the second in a three-part series going over the Kanto starters. If you haven't already, I've made the Blastoise video if you want to go watch that after this video. And a week from now, I'm going to be releasing the Venusaur one. So if you want to check that out, subscribe, maybe, and be on the lookout for that. Anyway, back to Charizard. I think Charizard has a lot of advantages over Blastoise, mostly that it's more offensive oriented, meaning that it might be able to just take out threats faster than Blastoise could. And if it can, it might end up just being the fastest overall. As we've seen with the EVs and a lot of other Pokemon, just simply being able to take down your opponents faster is usually the best plan. So anyway, let's just go ahead and get right into it. For base stats, Charizard has 78 HP, 84 attack, 78 defense, 109 special attack, 85 special defense, and 100 speed. It gets access to quite a lot of different types of moves. It's normal, fire, it's got a couple flying, a dragon type move that isn't really good, steel type move, and even a couple fighting type moves. So we might have a quite varied move pool this time, which could be interesting. Anyway, before we can get to that, we need to get through Charmander first, who has 39 HP, 52 attack, 43 defense, 60 special attack, 50 special defense, and 65 speed, making it a fairly quick, fairly strong first stage attacker, so not too bad. And here it is now, after I've transferred it into the game. We happen to get a Jolly Nature, which raises its speed and lowers its special attack, which isn't really something I wanted to see. It gets access to the Blaze ability, which makes it so that if you're below a third of your HP, you get stronger fire type moves. And according to Bulbapedia, these are the moves that Charmander gets at level 10, so it has Scratch, Growl, and Ember. Now, if I learned anything from the Squirtle video, it's that these starter Pokemon definitely need to train just a little bit before I can actually start doing decent battles with them. And that's more obvious right here, because this is exactly where Squirtle got stopped. And guess what? Charmander is in the same boat. So it's mostly just because, in this case, Horsey uses water type moves, and Charmander really can't take too many of those. The Abra can also do quite a bit of damage, and I can't one-shot it either. So at first, I definitely need to get rid of Horsey. And luckily the Abra does just kind of cycle between its moves, but as you can see there, an unfortunate crit, but it would have taken me down in 2 shots anyway. So what I decided to do is just a little bit of training, and I get Charmander up to Charmeleon, which is going to help out quite a lot. And for base stats, Charmeleon has 58 HP, 64 attack, 58 defense, 80 special attack, 65 special defense, and 80 speed. And with that, we should be more than strong enough to take down this trainer, as we can see here. So Scratch still isn't a one-shot, but it's doing almost half, which is pretty good. But the most important thing is that those water guns aren't doing nearly as much damage. A lucky crit, which is kind of nice. It got rid of the Horsey a little quicker, but wasn't really necessary, I don't think. Scratch actually can take down the Abra now, and an Ember should be able to take down the Shroomish in a single hit, and just like that, we beat him. Okay, so now for the normal part of the video where I just start talking. So, Venusaur video is coming up next week, like I said at the beginning. After that, I have a pretty cool video planned that I just finished working on tonight as of like half an hour ago. So be on the lookout for that then next week. And then another thing is, I really need some suggestions for Pokemon, honestly. Because I'm kind of at a loss. I don't know what popular Pokemon are, really. Like, I know what Pokemon I like, but I'm not sure if they really translate over to popular Pokemon. So, and I'm hoping to bring in new people, is what I'm saying. Not that popular Pokemon are the best Pokemon, it's just, you know, things of that nature tend to get more eyes. So, I don't know, I could do a legendary video maybe, just to see how good legendaries could be in this game. Or I could maybe just keep it kind of small scale, go with some random Route 1 type Pokemon again. I don't know. Tell me down below what you think, or suggest a Pokemon if you want to see anything. Anyway, back in the Cypher base, we now pick up the Numel here, because it has the Charcoal item, which raises all Fire-type moves by 10%, which is pretty good. And here's where I tell you that we are just not strong enough to beat the next trainer, and that is Naps. He's not a boss or anything, he's just the left-hand man, so to say, for the next boss. And we simply just can't beat him, he's a little too strong. And I'll show you why in just a moment, but I needed to train up a little bit. It just wasn't happening. I lost to him a couple times already, so... Anyway, so here he is. I went ahead and sped this up because we really don't need it going for too long. He's not all that important, it's just some Pokemon have some issue with it, and it's because of that move there, Mud Slap. It's not a very strong move, but it does quite a bit of damage, and I can't take down Rhyhorn in a single hit, or at least I couldn't, so the Mud Slaps were lowering my accuracy and I couldn't really do that much damage to him to take him out, so I would be taken out by, if not Mud Slap, the fact that I couldn't hit anything, and all the other Pokemon still on the team. So with a little bit of leveling, I'm able to take them all down with relative ease. So anyway, let's go straight into the Love Arena fight. She's the first boss of the game. She leads with a Love Disc and a Beautifly. Now Love Disc is probably the bigger threat here just because it's always going to be spamming Water Gun. And unfortunately I don't really have a move to take her down. And for some reason, I walked into this battle half health. But I guess I can just use this as a learning to try to figure out just what the best moves are. And unfortunately it looks like Love Disc is going to be at least a 3-shot. So back in it again, I use Scratch, and I get a crit, so now it's a 2-shot, a very close 1-shot, but not quite. Beautifly uses Gust, and it's going to just continue spamming Gust the entire rest of the battle. So Love Disc goes down, out comes Roselia, usually a big threat, but because Charmeleon is a fire type, we can probably just take it down with a single Ember, and it won't be able to set up Leech Seed on us. And yep, there it goes down. And then out comes her next move. Oh, sorry, level 34, I learned Flamethrower. Very important, we teach that right away. That's a 90 base power fire type move that Charmeleon has stab on, making it effectively, I think, 135 base power. So anyway, it's going to be super strong at this point in the game. So strong, we one-shot her Delcatty, which can usually tank some pretty strong attacks. But as you can see, we're already level 34, so we are sitting quite a bit higher up than all of her Pokemon. So anyway, second attempt, not too bad. And of course, you can't have a Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness video without the obligatory Mirror Beam mention. Wow. He sure is that guy. Okay, anyway, we're now evolving Charmeleon into Charizard at level 36, I believe. And we are going to see Charizard for the rest of the game. One thing to mention is it's now Fire Flying type, which could be a bad thing. It does learn Wing Attack right away, which is going to be an upgrade just for some type coverage. And of course, we go to the Real Gam Tower to go pick up our normal moves, Hidden Power, Protect, and in this case, we're gonna pick up the move Fire Blast, which we probably won't teach, but it's good to have on hand. And we run on over to the move tutor to go teach Body Slam over the move Hidden Power, because guess what? Our Hidden Power type is Dragon, which could be good, but is very situational in this game. So anyway, moving right along, we go into the Snaddle fight, and Wing Attack. Yeah, no, it doesn't one-shot the Quagsire. Lantern uses Shockwave, and this is why I was saying that the flying type might actually hurt us, because we take super effective damage from both of his leads, neither of which we can take down in a single hit. So, I'm not sure if evolving was the best choice, but also I couldn't imagine it being the wrong choice. Anyway, it's not really worth sitting on it or thinking about it for too long, because in the end we were going to evolve him anyway, so whatever point he evolves doesn't really matter. Here's the move Slash. I don't like Slash. The only thing it'd be useful for is maybe if something uses Defense Curl or something of that nature, and we want the crit, but we really don't. So I decided to go for Body Slam, see how much damage it'll do, and it's not quite a one-shot, but it's pretty close. Cast Form has Water Pulse. Ouch. And Lantern has Shockwave. Ouch. Okay, well, let's do a little grinding, actually. Anyway, a little grinding later, this is now the 4th attempt at Snaddle. We come in here, we use Body Slam on the Lantern immediately, and we can now take it out in a single hit. Out comes the Lunatone once again. And all we're really doing here is risking Rock Tombs and hoping that it misses, which it does have a 20% chance to miss, so it's not terrible odds. Flamethrower, as we saw before, should have taken down Lunatone. Huh, did we get a crit? We might have gotten a crit last time. Anyway, I'm now down 2 speeds. Another Flamethrower should take down the Lunatone now. But unfortunately, I'm now taking chip damage from the Fruity Pebbles. Out comes Cast Form. Another Rock Tomb hit, unfortunate. And now I'm getting very, very slow. And the Fruity Pebbles are doing their damage. So I decide to take down the Quagsire at this point, because I don't want to get slower than him, because Quagsire is super slow. So now at level 51, out comes Matang. Water Pulse doing minimal damage. Fruity Pebbles. I now decide to go for Flamethrower into Matang, because it has Thunder Punch, which would probably do more damage than Cast Form's pitiful Water Pulse. And just like that, we survive very narrowly, and one last Flamethrower finishes off the Cast Form. So Snaddle 4th attempt. Not too bad, but a little close. Anyway, moving right along, I'm just going to skip straight on to the Gonzap fight. Now Nuzleaf is always going to use Fake Out turn 1, and the Electrode is going to use Spark this time because I am a Flying type. And now I'm a Flying type that's paralyzed. So that's not usually a good sign. So this is probably a lost cause battle, but I'll try to go as far as I can just to get the experience out of it. A lucky critical hit on the Electrode, not sure if it really mattered. Out comes Vileplume. I go for Flamethrower. Nuzleaf is always going to use Hyper Beam from now on. I get another critical hit, okay. A little bit wild. Out comes the Whiscash, I use Body Slam. Hyper Beam's really not doing that much damage to me. Whiscash also has Rock Tomb, which kind of sucks, and he gets a crit back, which is fair. I get paralyzed. Another Rock Tomb, but this one actually misses. Body Slam doesn't quite take it down, so I gotta hit it with one more. Nuzleaf hits me with another Hyper Beam, taking me pretty far down into yellow. Rock Tomb takes me down into red. And now I'm pretty slow. Hopefully not too slow. Out comes Skarmory, but luckily we're a fire type, so we can actually take it down in probably a single hit. Hyper Beam takes me down to 11. Okay. Flamethrower takes it down. As long as the Nuzleaf doesn't get a crit, I think I'm safe. And it doesn't. I survived by 2. Oh, no, I get paralyzed. Okay, but at least it has to recharge. Okay. And we take him down first try, even through the paralysis. At the top of the pyramid, we get the move Earthquake, which I'm going to teach immediately over Smokescreen, just because I don't think Smokescreen's going to be all that valuable in the late game. And here we are at Gorgon. Now, luckily Celio's half Ice type, so it is going to be neutral damage. Celio uses Water Pulse, which doesn't really do too much, but at least it didn't... Oh, hey, wait a second. They didn't use Earthquake. Is the AI smart enough not to use Earthquake when I'm a flying type? I've never seen that before. I mean, this is the first flying type I've used, but... Huh. Wonder if I could use that somewhere else. Anyway, that's just neat to see. I go for Earthquake, because Earthquake is strong, and hits both. Out comes Primeape. His first Shadow Pokemon out of 2. Another Water Pulse. This one's going to do a little bit more damage because Slowking is a stronger special attacker. But another Earthquake takes it down and should take the Primeape down as well. Yes, it does. And then out comes his second Shadow Pokemon, which is Hypno. And I just use another Earthquake. And it takes it down. Okay, well that was a first try Gorgon. Huh, that's neat. Anyway, we head off to Citydark Isle in style with our Robo-Kyogre. Need to write that down. Oh, that's a nice little tagline. Jingles aside, we're now in the last area of the game, so we now have the refights against the bosses, which starts with Lavrina once again. So I'm going to use probably Earthquake, yeah, first round, just because I can probably take them both down, which I do. And then out comes Roselia and her first Shadow Pokemon, which is Farfetch'd. And Farfetch'd is quite a threat because it can confuse you, and with a lot of physical attackers, being confused isn't really what you want to be, and it takes turns away, so it's not really a good thing anyway. Out comes Altaria, her second Shadow Pokemon. Roselia usually goes for a Leech Seed, but it can also go for Attract if you just happen to be the opposite gender. So I'm going to go ahead and take down the Roselia now that it has a Leech Seed on me, just so I'm not taking a little bit of damage every turn, because I think the Altaria is going to be at least a 2-shot, and it really doesn't do too much damage. It's not a physical attacker. I go for Wing Attack just because it doesn't really matter. I think it's slightly stronger than Body Slam, but it doesn't have the chance to paralyze. So anyway, Lavrina first try. So not too shabby. Oh, and I decided not to go for Fire Spin. Anyway, up at the top, we've run into Snaddle once again, who is up to his old tricks, except he's got a more accurate move for slowing us down. And that would be... Oh, hey, he didn't use it. He used Waterfall. Actually, I don't know if I've ever seen that animation before. Man, that Charizard is really getting some neat stuff that I've never seen before. Like, I don't think I've seen the move Waterfall in this game. Anyway, out comes the Scizor and Solrock. Scizor is not really a threat because I double resist basically everything of his. And the Solrock is a Shadow Pokemon, so it definitely takes priority here. Unfortunately, a Flamethrower isn't able to take it out, so it uses Shadow Sky. Scizor uses Slash, which is basically its only option, and it's not a very good user of it. Another Flamethrower will take down the Solrock, and then out comes his Castform, which is still in the same boat as it was before, not very good. Fruity Pebbles are raining. Luckily I healed them off. I decided to go for Earthquake here, even though Scizor is neutral to it. It should be able to... Oh, with a crit, it'll definitely take down a Castform. Out comes Starmie, who is his second Shadow Pokemon, and can be a real threat if you're slower than it, simply because it just does a lot of damage. The Fruity Pebbles do actually do me a favor and finish off Scizor. I grow to level 70, and I just go for Earthquake here because it's my most damaging move that isn't resisted. It's not quite a one-shot, but ooh, Shadow Storm actually does quite a lot of damage, huh? Well, in any case, we're able to take it down with a wing attack, and that's Snaddle, first try. Anyway, moving right along, we go to Ardos, who is quite a burden on a lot of Pokemon that are special attackers, simply because he has a Snorlax with a leftovers on it, so it can be kind of hard to break through it. But I think Charizard has the best mix set, so it can hit both on the physical and special side, so I think it shouldn't have too much of a problem. The only thing that might be a difficulty is the fact that Kingdra is just going to spam Hydro Pump, and that thing hardly ever misses for some reason. I swear, Kingdra just has perfect accuracy on it. I don't know what it is. Anyway, Heracross actually survives the Earthquake because it resists ground. And then out comes Electabuzz, who can be a dangerous threat to physical attackers that can't learn Earthquake, simply because it has the static ability, which makes it so if you come into contact with it with a move, you could be paralyzed, and being paralyzed for this last section isn't usually a good thing. Earthquake's doing a little under half. Shadow Wind misses. It's going to heal up just a little bit. So it's going to be a 3-shot, another Earthquake, takes it down to red, and it misses its second Shadow Wind. Huh. Well, that was pretty easy. Usually it's harder. Anyway, moving right along. I forgot to record the first turn, but basically I just use Earthquake, because I know they won't use the Earthquake Protect strategy against me. So anyway, another Earthquake to take down the Slowking, and to take down the Ursaring. So out comes his next two Pokemon. It's going to be Aggron and Walrein, which really aren't that much of a threat. The Walrein could be, but I don't think it has a very good damaging Water-type move. And it should be 2-shot by Earthquake anyway. So I'm able to take down the Aggron in a single hit. Out comes Poliwrath, who always sets up Shadow Sky. Oh, Walrein also has Waterfall. Would you look at that? Okay. Anyway, Earthquake takes Poliwrath down to half, Walrein gets taken down. And then out comes Mr. Mime, who is his second Shadow Pokemon. Poliwrath's now going to set up the Fruity Pebbles. And so now I'm not going to be healing anymore. I go for another Earthquake to take down the Poliwrath, and it probably should take down the Mr. Mime. Sure does. And we beat Gorgon, which leads us directly into the next fight against Eldis. He leads with a Ninjask and a Manectric. Now Earthquake is going to be able to take down Manectric right off the bat. And out comes Salamence, which is something that's pretty scary because I don't really have anything super effective against it, other than an hidden power that I'm pretty sure is Dragon, but also might not be that good at actually handling him, because it could be on the lower end of hidden powers, I'm not sure. Anyway, I decide to just use Body Slam. I get a lucky paralysis. I check out to see how much Flamethrower does, which is doing quite a bit. I then just decide to take it down, because it's not worth leaving Salamence alive, even if it is paralyzed, because it is just going to be doing quite a bit of damage to me. Whereas at least I know the Ninjask is just going to spam Protect and Aerial Ace, which is another weird oddity, because usually it would spam all of its Silver Winds out before it devolves to that strategy. So Charizard's just a weird Pokemon, I guess, in this game. Just so many strange things happen around it. Anyway, a couple of Flamethrowers are able to take down the Flygon. Out goes Marowak. who does hold the Thick Club item, meaning that it's going to do a ton of damage if it actually hits you. Which is why I'm hoping that a single flamethrower is able to take it down. Or it misses. Well, it's able to take it down, and then out comes Lapras. Now usually this thing is a bit of a tanky wall, but since it is part ice type, I think flamethrower should do quite a bit to it. And it takes it down past half, all the way down to red even. So after a Shadow Sky, I should be able to take it down. And then it's just the Ninjask left, who just happens to be on the right turn order to get burnt. A little more Fruity Pebble. And Flamethrower takes it down. And that's Eldis. First try. Charizard is really just destroying these last trainers without very much issue. Oh, and before we can fight the final boss, we have to fight the big box legendary, Shadowlugia, who is usually not that strong. Now, Wing Attack doesn't do nearly as much as I thought it would, so I'm going to move over to Flamethrower, which I know isn't very effective. Never mind. I thought it was a water type. Maybe it's Flying Psychic. Huh. Okay, well. Whoops. Anyway, I'd take it down in a couple shots, and we move on to the final fight of the game. Now this is the first attempt. You can see I'm still at half health in level 72. I decided to go for a Wing Attack on the Moltres, just trying to get the most amount of damage, and that's not quite a one-shot. Okay. Well, Rhydon missed, so I'm going to be at least able to survive another round. I take down the Moltres for the experience. Out comes Executor, who I should be able to one-shot with a Flamethrower as long as... Never mind. And I go down. And after a couple more attempts at that same level just to get up to level 73, I eat all my rare candies. And let's see how it goes. So Wing Attack doing half. I guess I got a crit last time and didn't realize. A Shadow End misses, which is very nice. Another Wing Attack takes it down. And then out comes Executor. Another Shadow End. Luckily this one misses as well. Now I can either Earthquake or Flamethrower here. I decide to Earthquake to take down the Rhydon, but it's not quite a one-shot. And it's not even a half on Executor. So that's a little unfortunate. Luckily Rhydon is just missing. So it's not really doing anything. Another Earthquake to take it down. And an Earthquake takes down Executor, which puts me in a very interesting spot where I have to fight one of the birds and Tauros. Now Tauros is always going to waste 2 turns, basically. It sets up Shadow Sky the first, and then the other shadow move that traps you in place. I can't think of the name at the moment. So I can use Flamethrower on the Articuno to take it down in a single shot. And out comes Zapdos. So there's the Shadow Sky. So now I'm not healing, but I'm already past the second legendary bird. And I use another Flamethrower, doing all of Zapdos' health. Okay, that's pretty surprising. Shadow Hold. That's the name of the move. But if I hadn't been able to one-shot the Zapdos, it probably would have done quite a bit of damage to me. And one last Flamethrower should finish off the Tauros. And just like that, Charizard is beaten the game. At 10 hours and 6 minutes, 52 seconds. Which puts it in contention with Flareon, surprisingly. It was 2 levels lower and had a couple less losses, but it was also 15 minutes slower all around. So I think I might just put it underneath Flareon. But honestly, they're very comparable. Their times are almost the same, their levels are almost the same, their losses are almost the same. They're surprisingly very similar Pokemon, I guess. But I think Flareon has the ability to maybe do a little better since I've played the game a bit more. Whereas I think Charizard is probably going to be set where it is, especially with that weakness that comes with being a flying type. The fact that it's weak to electric, rock, and, you know, of course, fire's weak to water. It does get rid of a few weaknesses, like, most importantly, it's immune to ground. It doesn't take very effective damage from grass, bug, and a lot of other things. But with that being said, I think I'm just going to put it right below Flareon on the list. I think while it has a lot of things that it does well, and maybe it's the fact that I got a jolly nature that maybe held it back a little bit, but I think Flareon could definitely do just a little bit better than it's placed here, whereas I think Charizard is probably where it's set at the moment with my skill level. So, with that being said, if you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't, I don't know. If you want to see those next videos coming up that I alluded to, subscribe. Maybe hit the bell for notification whenever those come out. And I don't leave a comment down below. Like I said, I really need some Pokemon suggestions because I'm not really sure what to do next. I could just move on to a legendary, but I'm not really sure if I want to do that. But anyway, bye.